Beef that people have with KD is that you were up 3-1 versus the team. You lose the series to the team, then you join the team.
Yeah, you can't do that. I agree with that.
Okay, so
I agree with that statement. But you can't say that you didn't have super teams. You were surrounded by superstars everywhere you went.
But I did it under the rules of the system. When I first got to Orlando, I didn't have much. I saw that we can get him. The next year, I saw that Horace Grant was saying he wasn't coming back to Chicago.
Who has more in each category, Michael Jordan or LeBron James and Kevin Durant combined? Total seasons played, who has more?
LeBron and KD.
Yes, okay, that one's the layup for them. 39 total seasons between LeBron and KD, 15 for Michael Jordan. Who has more rings?
I mean, MJ has 6. LeBron and KD have.
Kevin Durant just did the unthinkable. He looked at the Mount Rushmore of basketball and said they couldn't guard him. But when his words reached Shaquille O'Neal, the Big Diesel didn't just disagree, he detonated. In a confrontation that has the entire NBA choosing sides, Shaq is demanding to know how Durant dares to mock the legacy of Michael Jordan. This is the story of a generational war fought with words, pride, and the ultimate question: what truly makes a legend?
Our business a year. But if we're going to stick to the conversation that we talk about accolades and body of work, LeBron's body of work is second to none. It is second to none.
It is. It is. It is. This is his consistency is showing up, and that got to mean something.
He's the all-time leading scorer.
He showed up, and that's what I appreciate about Bron, and that I overlooked and underestimated when it comes.
Call yourself the Slum Reaper?
Because I'm skinny and I do my work at night.
Why is your Twitter profile pic from a scene in the Disney movie Tangled?
Because I feel like a lot of people got their knives aimed at me, and I'm just back just chilling with it.
The confrontation began not in a locker room, but in the infinite chaotic arena of social media. In late 2025, a basketball fan posed a harmless question online. Among a starting 5 of Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, Tim Duncan, and Kevin Durant, who would have to come off the bench? The hypothetical was meant for barbershop debate, a way to pass the offseason. But Kevin Durant, never one to let a slight go unanswered, saw it and responded with a quote that would light the fuse on a powder keg. "None of them can guard me. How about that?" Durant posted, dismissing the entire pantheon of legends in one fell swoop. The basketball internet exploded. For years, the bus driver debate had followed Durant, the narrative that his 2 championships with the Golden State Warriors, while impressive, were tarnished because he joined a team that had already proven it could win without him. He was the ultimate passenger on a super team bus driven by Stephen Curry. But this was different. This wasn't about rings. This was about respect. Durant was claiming that his skill transcended their mythology. The reaction from fans and analysts was immediate, but everyone waited for the response from one man, Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq had been Durant's most persistent critic on the bus rider topic for years. If KD was poking the bear, Shaq was the bear. The tweet was a declaration of war, and when Shaq heard it, the diesel engine roared to life. Subscribe to witness the detonation.
Dr. Bus made a decision and had tipped Kobe Bryant. We know I know this. I'm giving you facts. God rest his soul.
Pick the one guy over the other. I understand.
Dr. Bus made the decision because Shaq was looking at that time. $100 million contracts wasn't going out of style. It was not that easy to come by the way that it.
All these guys can play, but please don't tell me you're a great player and you're averaging 20. Come on now. I don't think I ever played in the playoffs and averaged 20.
Here we go. Is Kevin Durant a great player?
Shaquille O'Neal did not wait for a studio camera. He did not craft a carefully worded statement. When he saw Kevin Durant's "none of them can guard me" tweet, the Big Diesel went nuclear in the most public way possible. A raw, unfiltered Instagram live that crashed the servers within minutes. "Let me tell you something, Kevin," Shaq began, his massive frame filling the screen, eyes burning with genuine anger. "You don't get to mock the guys who built this league. You don't get to sit on a bus that somebody else drove and then say you could have driven it better." He leaned closer to the camera, his voice dropping to a dangerous growl. Michael Jordan would lock your ass up. You know why? Because he had that dog in him, the one you've been searching for your whole career, the one that made you leave Oklahoma City to go sit on Golden State's couch, the one that makes you tweet about respect instead of earning it. Shaq's critique was rooted in a decade of frustration. The bus driver analogy had been his signature argument against Durant for years, and this moment crystallized it. To Shaq, Durant's claim wasn't just arrogant, it was historically illiterate. Jordan, he argued, didn't need to join a super team. Jordan made his teammates champions through sheer force of will, dragging them to greatness whether they wanted to go or not. I've got 4 rings, Kevin. You've got 2, but we both know yours came with an asterisk the size of the Golden Gate Bridge. You want to be in the GOAT conversation? Then act like it. Stop tweeting and start earning. And while you're at it, show some respect to the man whose air you're breathing. The video ended abruptly, but the damage was done. Within hours, Shaq's rant had been viewed millions of times, dissected by every sports show, and had become the central topic of NBA discourse. The battle lines were drawn, Shaq representing the old guard's pride versus Durant, the voice of the new school's unapologetic self-belief. The gauntlet has been thrown, but Kevin Durant has never backed down from a fight, especially one he can win with words. His response is coming, and it promises to be even more explosive. Subscribe to witness the counter-strike.
What do you think Jordan will average? Where do you think he would fit in?
I mean, he can adapt his game to anything. He would fit in as the best player in the league. Like, that's what he would be. And, you know, I feel like he'll have more possessions to do more things, but there's also more athleticism in his game, and there's more length in his game. But
you can give up one thing for the rest of your life: Twitter or video games.
Damn.
Which one would it be?
Damn. I'm going to go Twitter.
Kevin Durant waited exactly 24 hours, long enough for the initial firestorm to peak, long enough for every talking head to weigh in, long enough for the basketball world to wonder if he'd let Shaq have the last word. Then, with the precision of a step-back 3, he responded. Not on Instagram, not in an interview. Durant chose his battlefield carefully, a marathon session on X, formerly Twitter, quote-tweeting every major clip of Shaq's rant with surgical, devastating counters. Shaq talking about rings when he got carried by Kobe for 3 of them is wild, Durant posted, immediately reframing the narrative. Bus driver? Bro was riding shotgun while Kobe drove. The tweet was a masterpiece of psychological warfare. Durant knew exactly where to strike, at the heart of Shaq's own legacy insecurities. The Shaq-Kobe dynamic, the breakup of the Lakers dynasty, the narrative that Shaq's work ethic held him back, Durant weaponized it all. He continued, quote-tweeting Shaq's comments about Jordan. MJ is the GOAT, nobody disputing that, but saying I can't compete is just old head talk. Game evolved, players evolved. Y'all act like we didn't watch film of every move they ever made. Then came the most devastating blow. Durant posted a screenshot of Shaq's free throw percentage, a career 52.7% from the line, alongside a simple caption, "Hack a Shaq, need I say more?" The implication was clear. If they played one-on-one, Durant would simply send Shaq to the line, where the Diesel was historically helpless. It was a low blow, a personal attack on Shaq's most famous weakness, and it landed with nuclear force. Within hours, the basketball world was completely fractured. Current players rallied behind Durant, retweeting his posts with laughing emojis and "he got a point" comments. Old-school legends, including Charles Barkley and Isaiah Thomas, came to Shaq's defense, calling Durant's comments disrespectful and out of pocket. The war is now fully engaged, with 2 generations of superstars choosing sides. The next chapter reveals the fallout inside locker rooms and the quiet conversations that could determine who blinks first. Subscribe to witness history.
Well, Kevin Durant comes out, and he sits up there and says, people like me make the game worse. Well, Kevin Durant and his company executive produces this new docuseries coming out.
Asked me about, and we almost blew up the internet that night. You gave me the one-word answer. First of all, I thought it was hilarious. You know, Kevin, there was talk about you coming back for the playoffs last year, so you really just been.
The Shaq-KD confrontation quickly escalated beyond a personal feud into a full-scale generational civil war. Players, past and present, flooded social media with their takes, forcing everyone to choose a side and exposing the deep ideological rift within the basketball community. The old guard rallied around Shaq with fierce emotional loyalty. Charles Barkley went on TNT and didn't hold back. Kevin Durant is one of the greatest scorers I've ever seen, but you don't get to rewrite history just because you're hurt by the truth. Shaq was dominant. Shaq won before Kobe was Kobe. And Kevin had to join a 73-win team to get his. That's just facts. Isaiah Thomas echoed the sentiment, posting a vintage clip of Jordan locking down scorers in the 90s with the caption, "Watch and learn, then talk." The new school circled their wagons around Durant with equal ferocity. Devin Booker, Durant's teammate, posted a simple but powerful message. "Y'all really think MJ's stopping KD in transition? Stop it. Game changed. Get with it or get left." Joel Embiid, never one to miss a chance at engagement, tweeted a popcorn emoji with the caption, "This is better than All-Star Weekend." Even LeBron James, who has his own complicated history with both men, was spotted liking a post that read, "KD spitting facts. Legends can be legends without being unbeatable." The media frenzy reached a fever pitch. ESPN dedicated an entire episode of First Take to the feud, with Stephen A. Smith nearly losing his voice arguing that Jordan's era was simply tougher. Meanwhile, analytics-driven platforms published detailed breakdowns of how modern spacing and rules would make Durant virtually unguardable against any defender from any era. Behind the scenes, the NBA front office watched with a mixture of horror and glee. The ratings were through the roof, but the potential for a permanent rift between the league's past and present was a genuine concern. Adam Silver reportedly made private calls to both camps, urging de-escalation, calls that were politely ignored. The lines are drawn, the armies are assembled, but the man who started it all, Michael Jordan himself, has remained silent. When the ghost finally speaks, the entire conversation shifts. Subscribe to witness the legend's response.
In years. Stop it, come on. And reason being is those kids heard the stories from the parents about what I did 30 years ago. Right. So their expectation is 30 years prior, and I haven't touched the basketball. I hope you switched it. Absolutely. I got the most gratifying, that made my whole week, is that I was able to please that kid.
MJ was always prepared, no matter if he had to hit the game-winning shot, make the game-winning, assist, get a steal, get a block shot. I think he was always prepared for every moment. And
for weeks, the basketball world had waited. Through Shaq's fiery rant, through KD's surgical counters, through the civil war that divided generations, one man had remained conspicuously, deliberately silent: Michael Jordan. The ghost, whose legacy was being debated, had not uttered a single word until now. The setting was a private charity event in Charlotte, closed to the media, but someone inside recorded a brief, grainy video that leaked within hours. Jordan, seated at a table with former players, was asked about the feud. His response was not the fiery defense his loyalists expected. "Y'all having fun with this, huh?" Jordan said, a faint, knowing smile crossing his face. "Shaq's out there fighting battles I didn't ask him to fight. KD's out there tweeting about hypotheticals. And for what? I'm not losing sleep over what Kevin Durant thinks about my game." He leaned back, taking a sip of his cigar. "Here's the thing about competition. It's real. It happens on the court, in the moment, with everything on the line. All this talk, all this debating, it's entertainment, it's content, it's not the game." Jordan then addressed Kevin Durant's claim about guarding him directly. "Kevin says nobody can guard him. Maybe he's right. He's an incredible player, one of the best scorers we've ever seen. But here's what I know. When I played, the best scorers in the world came at me every night, and they went home with nothing. Not because I was faster or stronger, but because I refused to lose. That refusal, that's something you can't tweet into existence. The room fell silent. Jordan's eyes hardened. I respect KD's game. I really do. But respect and fear aren't the same thing. And until he's done something that makes the next generation fear him the way they feared me, the conversation is just noise. He stood, adjusted his jacket, and delivered his final line before walking away. Tell Shaq to save his energy. I don't need defending. And tell KD to keep shooting. That's what great players do. Just don't confuse confidence with history. The ghost has spoken, and his words are neither condemnation nor validation. Jordan has dismissed the entire feud as content, refusing to engage in a debate he considers beneath him. But his warning to Durant about fear, about history, about the difference between confidence and legacy hangs in the air like smoke from his cigar. The final chapter explores what this means for both men and the generations they represent. Subscribe for the conclusion.
You're on the eve of your return?
Yes.
Reportedly. I don't know. I don't have my sources there.
It is confirmed.
Would just about the 6 weeks that is typical for the injury.
More like 7 weeks.
Yeah.
I think
including the All-Star. I think, and then, so I feel like fans are always.
You can give up one thing for the rest of your life: Twitter or video games.
Michael Jordan's words did not end the debate. They elevated it. Shaquille O'Neal, hearing Jordan's dismissal, reportedly backed down in private conversations, understanding that his defender's role was no longer needed. He made no further public comments, letting his initial fury stand as his final word. The Diesel had fired his shot, and now the smoke was clearing. Kevin Durant, for his part, responded to Jordan's comments with unexpected restraint. On his podcast, he acknowledged the legend's words with a tone that bordered on reverence. "Mike said what he said, and I respected," Durant began. "He's earned the right to speak however he wants. But here's the thing. I'm not trying to be him. I'm trying to be me. And me, at my best, is a problem for anybody, any era. That's not disrespect. That's just the truth." He paused, then added a line that captured the philosophical divide perfectly. He talked about fear. I get that. But I don't need you to fear me. I just need you to admit that when I'm on the court, there's nothing you can do to stop me. That's not fear. That's fact. The feud that had consumed the NBA for weeks ended not with a knockout, but with a mutual acknowledgement of irreconcilable differences. Shaq and the old guard would never see Durant as a driver. Durant and the new school would never accept that their evolved game was somehow lesser. And Michael Jordan, the ghost in the machine, floated above it all, untouched and untouchable. The confrontation between Shaquille O'Neal and Kevin Durant was never really about basketball. It was about two competing visions of greatness, one rooted in myth, struggle, and the narratives of a pre-digital age, the other rooted in skill, analytics, and the unapologetic self-belief of a generation raised on highlight reels and social media validation. Shaq spoke for the era that built the league's foundation. Durant spoke for the era that perfected its craft. Neither is wrong, neither is right. They are simply different ways of measuring the same thing, the impossible pursuit of being remembered. In the end, Michael Jordan's dismissal of the entire debate was the most revealing moment of all. He understood something that both Shaq and Durant, in their own ways, had forgotten. Legacies aren't argued into existence, they're lived, and when you're busy living yours, you don't have time to defend it. Who was right? Shaq defending the old guard's honor, or KD asserting his own greatness? Let us know in the comments. For more deep dives into the battles that define basketball generations, hit subscribe.